instantly with a problem on the app?
No, because I was told that. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here on Wave Now. So today I want to take some time and talk about something that so many in our community are struggling with, and that is addiction and also staying sober. It is a real reality that a lot of people are going through. You are not alone. And today we are teaming up with BrightView, which is an addiction treatment center in our area. They have several locations across the country as well, with their experts on how to get through the holidays, because there are so many things around the holidays that can be stressful and make things complicated for those who are trying to stay sober. They're struggling with addiction. So today, joining me now, I've got three wonderful ladies with us here on Wave Now. Crystal Barajas, she is the Community Outreach Manager for BrightView here in Louisville. And in the middle is Tiffany Garzewski. You can correct me, Tiffany, because I want to say your name correctly. Tell us your last name so we get it correctly here for our viewers. All right, one more time for us.
Garzewski.
Okay, great. And also Dee Murray, who's the clinical supervisor here in BrightView in Louisville. Thank you so much for talking with us today about this. First of all, can you just tell us, Crystal, a little bit about what is BrightView? You're located here in Louisville, but what do you do for folks?
Absolutely. So we are a comprehensive outpatient addiction treatment center for those that suffer from alcohol or substance use disorder. We offer full services ranging from medication assistance to individual and group counseling, targeted case managing. That's really helpful for those that have any barriers in their recovery journey. So whether that's housing assistance, transportation, getting them set up with rent assistance or clothing, even just as something as simple as a primary care physician referral. So lots of different services are provided, but the great thing about us is that we're our ability to accept walk-ins every day until 3 o'clock. So we know that when someone is in need, they don't have to wait for 3 weeks. Next week, they can come in same day and see a provider.
That's so important, especially when we're
located in Valley Station off of Snow Street.
Okay, perfect. According to the CDC, the most dangerous times of the year for drug and alcohol-related deaths are December, January, and March. So we're kind of right around those time frames. The CDC reports nearly 91,000 drug-related deaths. They've been reported during December since 1999. That's so many people. Could be a parent, a brother or sister, a child, a nephew. The list goes on and on. What are you all seeing in BrightView? Who's coming in, and at what point in their life have they realized, okay, I need help?
Let me take that. Well, addiction, it doesn't hit a specific type of person. It's non-discriminatory, is what I should say. It can affect anyone. You have to, there's really not a certain point. You have to hit your lowest low before, you say, that's it, I'm done, I surrender. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the steps. I mean, they have to make that choice themselves. I had to make that choice myself to walk through the doors.
And Tiffany, kind of talk to us about why you chose to come in front of the camera today and share your personal story, because addiction has personally impacted you.
Yes. It's really hard for me to do this, but yeah, I wanted to, this is kind of one of my fears to do, is to do public speaking about this. But yeah, I really want to stress the importance of, of addiction, and especially during the holidays. It's really hard on your loved ones if they're suffering, with addiction. Just be patient with them. That's another good one. And make sure they always have like a water in their hands. If they're, if they're an alcoholic, that way they always have something in their hands. They won't feel as stressed. Just be don't bring it up, I guess, kind of like type thing, and just be yourself around them.
Mhm.
But yeah, still bring up alcohol
And
drugs.
why are the holidays so hard for folks who are dealing with addiction?
I think it's just everybody coming together. It's just a lot of stress. It's just a lot of anxiety. We suffer with mental illness as well, which is anxiety, depression, all that. It's just really tough. It's just really overwhelming, I would say the holidays are. So,
And to add to that, Maria, a lot of times with family gatherings are set up kind of like social events and party events. And, there may be alcohol or drugs there as well. And that can be a
Stressful.
trigger and very stressful.
very stressful.
Do people forget about that? I think we think sometimes the holidays, it's about gifts, it's about parties, it's about coming together. And while it may sound wonderful, that can be really hard on a lot of people.
Yes.
Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's very hard on the holidays. I know. Just every year is always hard. Just with everybody coming together, and and then you feel like an outsider, with your addiction, and it's just really stressful, because you're not the norm. Yes.
And to add to that, other triggers, even loss, dealing with grief of a loved one.
Yes, it's really hard.
Even just, things that I think are overlooked would be, just the stress of, purchasing gifts and, traffic and just all these other, you're taking time off for the holidays, but you still have to fit your, regular work into those hours. So there's definitely a lot more to it than, that can be overlooked. That can definitely add stress to your and be a trigger.
Yes. And one more thing, a lot of times when you're in recovery, we work on setting a routine. And if that routine is upset, a lot of times that can be a major trigger as well.
This is a simple question, but I think it would be helpful for folks to kind of know what is addiction.
Do you want me to take
Go
that
for
one? Okay. Addiction is a chronic, progressive, and even potentially fatal disease. It's a medical diagnosis. One of the things that we do at BrightView is we treat you like a person when you come in, but we treat the addiction like a disease. Because it is a disease, and it affects people, in a lot of different ways. And we use forms of different type of medical treatment to treat it.
This may be a silly question, but is addiction a choice? You said it's a disease. How do you some people may think, well, you choose to do this. Is it a choice for people, or how would you explain it? Is it like having diabetes? Is it like having other medical conditions?
It is. It is a disease. It could be genetics. It could be, it could be anything. And no, it's not a choice. It's a lifelong struggle, and you have to take it day by day, just as you would take diabetes or any other thing that you're, disease that you're going to tackle. You have to take it moment by moment and have that on the forefront.
So we talked about why the holidays are a trigger, and for some people it may be there's more alcohol and drug use, say at parties, disruptive routines, you're dealing with grief, you're dealing with loss, just the hecticness, the stress, increased emotions from the holidays, memories and loneliness. Those are all triggers. So what do you do when you know, okay, these things could possibly be triggers, or you recognize that you're feeling a certain way? How do you proceed?
Just take a moment. I just have to step out and take a moment and take a little break and just kind of gather myself, think about the steps, and just get centered again. And then I can come back out. Sometimes I'll even have to step away and leave the situation if I have to, if it's a little more overwhelming than it is. But yeah. Okay.
Is it okay to say, you know what, maybe going to that holiday party where people are going to be drinking, or that family gathering where I know things can be tempting, is it okay to say, you know what, I'm going to skip on it?
Yes. And hopefully the family will understand, your loved ones will understand that by making that decision. Yes, I hope so.
So I think
Yes, I think that's totally fine. And that's what we have to do. We have to be selfish in our struggle, because we've got to take this day by day. We have to be selfish.
absolutely. Recognizing your personal space, how important is that, Tiffany?
Very important. It is very important to have your own personal space. I mean, your mental health, that goes hand in hand with addiction. So, having that, you have to be level-headed. You've got to stay sober. You've got to, you can't. So yes, definitely stepping away. And mental health is really a major issue.
Crystal, how do you support yourself when you're going through addiction and recovery? Tiffany's very brave to come out here and talk about it, but is your struggle everybody's business?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How do you support yourself when you're struggling with addiction? How do you, do you have to be an open book about it? Can you decide what you want to share, what you don't want to share? What's the best way to proceed with that?
Absolutely. I think anyone, it's up to them on what their journey looks like. If they want to share their story, or if they want to just keep that to themselves. I think the most important thing is just to do the work, with counseling, and just stay connected, stay, self-aware of your surroundings and what's going on. But most importantly, I think is just kind of leaning on someone, whether that is a loved one or, a counselor. But again, it's your journey. It's up to you whether or not you want to share your story with your loved ones and family, your friends.
If we're going to if we're nervous around being around friends and family, or other friends and family are wondering, okay, well, I don't want to do anything to make that other person feel uncomfortable. What can you tell our viewers today what they can do to support our loved ones who are struggling with addiction and staying sober?
The main thing I would say, Maria, is, host a substance-free event. That's probably the best thing, rather than having something there that could potentially trigger someone to use a certain substance. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely have mocktails, I guess, so to say.
Yes.
Ginger ale, other, I wouldn't bring alcohol to the party at all. I would keep it kind of low key. I wouldn't have it major. I would have a small group, small gathering.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be so overwhelming. But just keep being and be engaging with your loved one, and just be normal, be yourself.
Yeah. Encourage,
yes. Be loving.
Yes.
What happens if someone faces a relapse? What do they do?
Going through relapse, it's tough. We struggle with this all the time. We have to pick ourselves back up, and we have to keep going. We have to keep moving forward. We have to, or we'll die. That's it. Well, you have to keep going. You have to keep trying.
Yes.
No matter what. Day to day, you have to do it.
And I always encourage people to reach out to someone, definitely to us. We are definitely there
without them.
So if someone faces a relapse, they reaching out is the most important thing. You shouldn't beat yourself up. You shouldn't think, okay, I'm a failure. You can always pick yourself back up again.
Right. We do that. We're very self-critical. We're very hard on ourselves, and having that, a loved one is just beating us down too. It's like we've already beat ourselves down mentally. It's like we don't hear that too. It's really hard. But yeah, just being understanding and being supportive is really the best thing. And yeah, we have to be strong. You have to keep going. You have to pick yourself right back up and just keep going. You have to.
Crystal, is there anything that I did not ask you about BrightView, what you all do and offer to the community that you would want to let folks know? Maybe there's someone watching today, right now, they have a loved one who's struggling with addiction, or they themselves are. What should they do?
They should absolutely reach out to us. Again, we accept walk-ins every day until 3 o'clock, but we also have a 24/7 phone number, as well as a website that you can schedule appointments on. The main thing is just, coming in and reaching out. We have services all throughout the state. I think for 14 locations across the state, but as well as 91, I think, across the country. But if you're here locally, we have our location here in Valley Station. Come in and we will help you.
And Dee, did you want to add to any of that?
I do, Maria. It's an easy process too. We have a 1-800 number that I'd like to leave with you. It's 1-833-510-HELP, HELP. It's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Or please just walk into one of the BrightView clinics. You don't go on a waiting list, you're seen that day.
Yes.
So that's a great benefit.
Very important. That's very important.
Yes.
Yeah, they make that
definitely.
decision not to set it off, like hold it off. When we make that decision for us to go forward that day, it's the
Yes.
best thing. And at BrightView, they do that. So.
Yes, you will be seen that
And
day.
if you're suffering, please make that phone call. Please come in.
You
It'll
know-
change. I mean, it'll change your life.
Yes.
It's life changing.
Tiffany, if it's not too much to ask you, Tiffany, I would love to talk to you a little bit more about your journey. What do you want people to know about your journey, what you struggled with when you decided to get help? What would you like to share?
I've kind of suffered with alcoholism and addictions. I went through the same systems that everybody else did. I've been through in and out the doors, through OLAP, through when JDAC was here. I'm an alumni with the Women's Healing Place. I just finally, with alcohol, I just finally said, now I'm done. And I called my sister and she came and picked me up and she took me to rehab that day. And that had to. I had to. And then I had a relapse and it came back to BrightView and they've been wonderful to me, open arms and loving. And I couldn't do it without them here. So, but yeah, it's what I've been through. Everybody's got their own struggles, their own difficulties of what they've been through. And you have to hit your lowest low. You have to bottom out. And that is really tough, but because you don't see the light then, but to be able to reach out and say, hey, I need help, and to go and make that step, it's really tough. It's really tough. So, but you can do it.
I can hear the emotion in your voice, and I want to thank you for talking about this because I know that, no, it's okay, because there are people that are watching this right now and they feel the way that you feel and they don't know what to do. And I'm sure by looking at you and hearing you've got your emotional support cat there. They're probably wondering, well, why is she holding a cat there? You have to do what you have to do to get to the next day, right?
You have to. Yeah, definitely have to take care of yourself. You have to be selfish in your struggle for sobriety. You have to be selfish in sobriety. Definitely.
Do you think you're here today because of what BrightView has helped you do?
Absolutely. They're lifesavers. I love them here. Yes, absolutely. And they keep me in check. They're just wonderful. They're family now. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I made the decision to come here.
So if there's a parent out there watching this, ladies, you all can decide who wants to answer this. If they're watching this and they think, okay, my loved one needs help, or they're watching this and thinking, okay, I don't want to go through the holidays and feel this way anymore. What's the one thing that each one of you ladies would say to those people?
if they're suffering through it, you're not alone. To know that you're not alone and that, our struggles, bind us together, bond. They're so bonding, and that you have sisters and brothers that are here. Please reach out. Please don't give up. Don't give up. Come see us here. So that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah, and I agree, please walk into the clinic on Stone Street. Here again, you are treated like a person and your addiction is treated like a disease. There's no stigma, there's no shame. It's a very simple process. If you can't walk in, get somewhere and call.
Yes.
Call this 1-833-510-HELP. We'll send somebody to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we provide transportation for those first couple of appointments, so we can absolutely help get you to the site if you have any transportation issues. And just like Dee and Tiffany have said, call, walk in, we'll get you an appointment scheduled. And the main thing that I always like to stress to people is it's a very loving environment. I mean, you're going to come in to open arms. These individuals that work here are very compassionate and experienced, and they're here to help you on your journey. So it's definitely gonna be something that you will be grateful that you did.
Yeah. On your journey and beyond, even just taking that first step and coming here is your biggest step. That's your hardest step. They'll help you from there. They'll help you with other things, further down, which is amazing, which is a blessing here too as well. So,
well, I've put a link to BrightView in this stream for those folks who are wanting more information on BrightView, where they're located, how you can get a hold of them. All of that is in the link here that I've attached to social media. I appreciate the three of you talking with us today here on Wave Now. I truly hope that we helped at least one person out there. I'm sure that we have. Tiffany, you are absolutely brave and courageous to share your story today. And I appreciate you all sharing this advice for people struggling with addiction, how we can help our fellow brothers and sisters, our coworkers, our friends, our family dealing with addiction, being mindful, being patient. All of those things play a critical role in lifting each other up. Thank you so much for joining us here. I appreciate your time. And again, a link to BrightView is on this stream. I'm Maira Ansari for Wave Now with BrightView. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.